The first major breakthrough came unexpectedly. A human genetic sequence, previously considered non-essential, showed remarkable potential for treating genetic disorders that had plagued the Zortak civilization for generations. It was a small discovery that promised massive implications. Dr. Rodriguez presented the initial findings. Her holographic presentation showed how human cellular structures could potentially repair damaged genetic material in ways the Zortak had never imagined. The room fell silent as the implications became clear. Advanced medical nanobots, once a dream of scientific imagination, now seemed possible. The human body's ability to create backup systems became a key to understanding complex medical technologies. Where the Zortak saw limitation, humans demonstrated incredible adaptive potential. Interstellar communication channels buzzed with excitement. Research teams from multiple alien civilizations requested access to the collaborative data. Humanity was no longer just another species to be studied. They were becoming scientific partners. Kral's research team developed the first prototype of what they called the Adaptive Healing Module. Based entirely on human biological principles, the technology could potentially repair genetic damage at a cellular level. It was a revolution in medical science. The technological breakthrough extended beyond medicine. Engineers discovered that the human concept of redundancy could be applied to spacecraft design, communication systems, and complex computational networks. Two systems working in parallel, each capable of taking over if the other failed. Efficiency is not about perfection, Jay explained during a critical research presentation. It's about adaptability. The Zortak began to reimagine their entire technological approach. Their previous belief in single, perfect systems was challenged by human biological principles. Redundancy was not a weakness. It was a strength. Space stations began implementing hybrid technologies. Human biological research merged with advanced Zortak computational systems. Each discovery opened new pathways of understanding, breaking down barriers between different civilizations. Communication technologies saw remarkable improvements. Using principles derived from human biological redundancy, the research team developed communication systems that could maintain connection even under extreme conditions. No single point of failure could disrupt the network. Kral found himself fascinated by human creativity. Where Zortak technology followed strict, predictable patterns, human innovation seemed to emerge from unexpected places. A biological quirk became a technological revolution. International scientific conferences became battlegrounds of exciting new ideas. Researchers from Earth presented findings that challenged centuries of established scientific understanding. The Zortak listened, no longer with clinical detachment, but with genuine respect. The research facility became a symbol of interstellar collaboration. Humans and Zortak worked side by side, their differences becoming their greatest strength. What seemed like a simple study of reproductive biology had transformed into a comprehensive review of technological potential. Funding poured in from multiple alien civilizations. Research grants, collaborative projects, and technological exchange. Programs multiplied. Humanity had proven itself not as a primitive species, but as a crucial scientific partner. Jay watched the holographic displays, understanding that they were witnessing something extraordinary. This was more than a technological breakthrough. It was a moment of cosmic understanding, where biological differences became bridges of knowledge. As the research continued, one thing became clear. The human two-testicle configuration was not just a biological accident. It was a sophisticated system of survival, adaptation, and potential that would reshape understanding of life itself. The universe watched and waited as humanity's unique biological configuration promised to unlock mysteries that had remained hidden for millennia. The massive interstellar conference hall buzzed with anticipation. Representatives from 17 different alien civilizations gathered to witness humanity's most significant scientific presentation. Jay Park stood at the center, his hands steady, his eyes reflecting years of research and discovery. Kral sat in the front row, no longer just an observer, but a respected colleague. The Zortak delegation had transformed from clinical researchers to passionate advocates for human scientific potential. The holographic display came to life, showing the journey of human biological discovery. What began as a simple study of reproductive configuration had become a groundbreaking exploration of adaptive biology. Each alien species leaned forward, captivated by the presentation. "Redundancy is not weakness," Jay began, his voice clear and confident. "It is survival's most sophisticated strategy." Representatives from the Kepler Alliance, a consortium of advanced civilizations, watched with growing respect. Humanity had gone from being an overlooked species to a critical scientific partner in less than a decade. Dr. Rodriguez stepped forward, presenting the medical breakthroughs. Genetic healing technologies developed from human biological principles had already saved millions of lives across multiple alien civilizations. The healing modules, based on the human two-testicle configuration, represented a medical revolution. The Galactic Research Council, traditionally skeptical of new species, began to see humanity differently. Where they once saw a young, primitive civilization, they now recognized a remarkable adaptive force. Technological demonstrations followed. Spacecraft design, communication systems, and medical technologies all bore the mark of human innovative thinking. The concept of built-in backup systems, once considered inefficient, was now viewed as a breakthrough in design philosophy. Kral stood, addressing the conference. "Humans have taught us that perfection is not about eliminating variation," he explained. "It's about creating systems that can adapt and survive." Awards began to flow. The Interstellar Scientific Achievement Medal, never before given to a species so young, was presented to Jay and his research team. Alien civilizations that had once looked down on humanity now sought their collaboration. Research grants multiplied. Universities and scientific institutions from across the galaxy requested joint projects with human researchers. The small research station where Jay and Kral first worked together had become a symbol of interstellar scientific collaboration. The conference hall became a testament to human potential. Young scientists from Earth watched as their species was recognized not for military might or technological dominance, but for biological creativity and adaptive potential. Political tensions that had existed between different alien civilizations began to soften. The human approach to scientific discovery, collaborative, adaptive, open-minded, provided a new model of interstellar cooperation. Medical technologies developed from human research began solving problems that had plagued alien civilizations for centuries: genetic disorders, cellular regeneration, adaptive healing. Humanity had become a key to solving universal scientific challenges. As the conference reached its conclusion, something remarkable happened. The Galactic Research Council proposed a new initiative, the Human Adaptive Research Program. It would be the first time a young species was given such a significant scientific role. Jay looked at Kral, seeing not just a colleague, but a friend. Their initial clinical encounter had transformed into a partnership that would reshape understanding of life itself. The final presentation showed a timeline of human scientific discovery. From the first moment, humans looked at their own biological configuration as something more than a simple reproductive system, to the current moment of galactic recognition. Alien representatives began to understand that humanity's strength was not in military power or technological superiority. It was in their ability to see potential where others saw limitation. The two-testicle configuration was no longer just a biological trait, it was a metaphor for human potential. As the conference concluded, a standing ovation erupted. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, not as conquerors, but as partners. Their unique biological perspective had become a beacon of scientific hope. The universe had found a new way of understanding itself, and humans were leading the way. 10 years had passed since the first encounter. The research station, once a small facility, now stood as a symbol of interstellar cooperation. Jay Park walked its corridors, watching how human and Zortak scientists worked side by side, their differences becoming their greatest strength. Kral approached, his alien features now familiar and welcoming. The initial clinical distance had transformed into a deep mutual respect. Their friendship represented more than a scientific partnership. It was a bridge between civilizations. Genetic modification programs began to emerge. Zortak scientists carefully studied human biological principles, not to copy, but to understand. The concept of biological redundancy had revolutionized their entire approach to evolution and survival. "We were wrong," Krull admitted during one research session. The statement carried the weight of centuries of alien scientific thinking. Where once the Zortak believed in perfect single-system designs, they now understood the power of adaptive complexity. Interstellar medical centers implemented hybrid technologies. Human genetic research merged with advanced alien computational systems. Each treatment became a celebration of biological diversity, each cure a testament to collaborative potential. Young scientists from Earth now worked alongside alien researchers. The initial wonder of first contact had transformed into a deep, meaningful scientific exchange. Humanity was no longer an observer. They were active participants in galactic scientific progress. Dr. Rodriguez led a team developing adaptive healing, technologies that could work across multiple species. What began as a study of human reproductive biology had become a universal approach to medical treatment. The Galactic Research Council recognized humanity's unique contribution. Where other civilizations saw limitations, humans saw potential. The two-testicle configuration was now studied as a sophisticated biological strategy, not a random genetic accident. Spacecraft design changed dramatically. Inspired by human biological principles, new vessels incorporated multiple backup systems. Redundancy became a mark of advanced technological thinking, not a sign of inefficiency. Cultural exchanges flourished. Alien civilizations began to understand that diversity was not a weakness, but the most powerful survival strategy. Humanity's approach to scientific discovery, open, adaptive, collaborative, became a model for interstellar cooperation. Krull watched Jay work, reflecting on their journey. Their first encounter had been clinical, distant. Now, they understood each other beyond scientific parameters. They had become friends, representatives of a new way of thinking about life and potential. Research facilities across the galaxy adopted human-inspired adaptive technologies. Communication systems, medical, treatments, spacecraft designs, all bore the mark of human innovative thinking. The small biological difference that once seemed insignificant had reshaped scientific understanding. The younger generation of alien scientists looked at humans with genuine respect. No longer were they a young, primitive species. They were pioneers of a new scientific approach that celebrated complexity and adaptation. Political tensions between alien civilizations began to soften. The human model of cooperation, built on understanding differences rather than eliminating them, provided a new framework for interstellar relationships. Jay looked out at the vast expanse of space, understanding that their discovery was about more than biology. It was about perspective, the ability to see potential where others saw limitation. Genetic research continued to produce remarkable breakthroughs. Treatments that seemed impossible a decade ago were now routine. The human approach to biological understanding had become a key to solving universal scientific challenges. The research station became a symbol of hope. It represented a moment when humanity proved that their unique biological configuration was not a random accident, but a sophisticated strategy of survival and adaptation. Krull placed a hand on Jay's shoulder, a gesture of friendship that would have been impossible a decade earlier. Their relationship represented something larger than themselves. It was a bridge between civilizations, a testament to the power of mutual understanding. As stars continued their eternal dance outside, the research facility hummed with possibility. Humanity had found its place in the universe, not through conquest or technology, but through the simple ability to see potential in difference. The journey of discovery continued, with humans and their alien partners writing a new chapter of scientific understanding. The massive research vessel hung in the inky blackness of space, its sleek silver hull reflecting pinpricks of distant starlight. Inside the observation deck, J. Park stood motionless, his breath creating a gentle fog on the reinforced glass window. At 35, he was the youngest lead xenobiologist humanity had ever sent on a first contact mission. The Zortak ship approached with an elegance that defied its enormous size. Unlike human vessels with their angular designs, this alien craft moved like liquid mercury, shifting and rippling through space. Jay's fingers traced the communication panel, checking and rechecking every possible communication protocol. Kral, the lead Zortak diplomat, was unlike any being Jay had ever encountered. Standing at nearly 7 feet tall, with skin the color of pale blue granite, and eyes that seemed to shift between silver and deep purple, the alien represented a civilization thousands of years more advanced than humanity. Initial communication had been tense. The Zortak were known for their clinical approach to interaction, treating every encounter like a precise scientific experiment. Humanity was just another specimen to be studied, analyzed, and potentially categorized. Biological scan complete, a computerized voice announced in the observation deck. Jay watched as holographic displays flickered to life, revealing intricate details of both human and Zortak physiological structures. Kral's first words were unexpected. "Your species has an interesting reproductive configuration," he stated, his translator converting his complex language into surprisingly direct English. Jay raised an eyebrow. Most first contact conversations involved diplomatic pleasantries or complex scientific exchanges. This was not different. The alien diplomat approached the holographic display, his long fingers moving across the floating images. 2 distinct biological models hung in the air, human and Zortak, side by side. The differences were immediately apparent. 2, Kral muttered, pointing at the human male representation. "We have one. Why?" It wasn't a question seeking an immediate answer. It was a genuine scientific curiosity that seemed to burn within the alien's complex neural pathways. Jay understood this was more than a casual observation. In the vast cosmic dance of intelligent species, biological differences often held keys to evolutionary strategies, survival mechanisms, and potential technological adaptations. The research station hummed with anticipation. Years of preparation, decades of scientific training, and centuries of human exploration had led to this moment. First contact was never just about meeting another species. It was about understanding the fundamental differences and similarities that defined intelligent life. Kral moved closer to Jay, his movements precise and calculated. Unlike human body language, the alien's gestures were mathematical, each movement serving a specific purpose. No wasted energy, no unnecessary motion. "Your redundant biological structure suggests an evolutionary advantage," Kral stated. It wasn't a compliment. It was an observation, clinical and pure. Jay smiled. Humans had always been defined by their ability to adapt, to find advantage in seemingly random biological configurations. 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 2 testicles. Nature's backup systems that had helped humanity survive countless challenges. The observation deck grew silent. Outside, stars continued their eternal dance, indifferent to the momentous conversation happening. Within the research vessel, humanity and the Zortak civilization were about to embark on a journey of mutual discovery. "Would you like to understand?" Jay asked, his voice calm and steady. Kral's multifaceted eyes focused entirely on the human scientist. In that moment, a bridge was being constructed, not just between 2 individuals, but between 2 entire civilizations, separated by light years and evolutionary paths. "Explain," Kral responded, and so began humanity's most important conversation. With an alien species, a dialogue that would reshape understanding of biological evolution, technological potential, and the very nature of intelligent life in the universe. The first encounter had begun. The research laboratory buzzed with an electric anticipation. Holographic displays flickered with complex genetic sequences, mapping the intricate differences between human and Zortak biology. J. Park stood at the center, surrounded by a team of international scientists and the alien researcher Kral. Genetic mapping machines hummed, processing millions of data points every second. Each scan revealed something extraordinary about human biological adaptation. Where Zortak biology followed strict, predictable patterns, human genetics demonstrated a remarkable flexibility that fascinated the alien researchers. "Redundancy is not weakness," Krull muttered, studying a holographic representation of human cellular structures. His long fingers traced the complex genetic pathways, revealing layers of biological complexity that even he found challenging to comprehend. The primary focus of their research centered on reproductive biology. Human males possessed 2 testicles, a feature that seemed unnecessary to the Zortak, who had evolved with a single reproductive organ. But nature, as always, had its reasons. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, a geneticist from Brazil, presented her findings. Her holographic presentation showed how the 2-testicle configuration provided multiple evolutionary advantages: backup reproductive capabilities, increased genetic diversity, and enhanced survival mechanisms became increasingly apparent. "Imagine a species with a built-in backup system," she explained, her voice filled with scientific excitement. "If one testicle is damaged or fails, the other continues to function. It's nature's redundancy protocol." Krull listened intently. For a species that valued efficiency above all else, this seemed counterintuitive. The Zortak had always believed that single perfect systems were the ultimate evolutionary achievement. Humans were proving that complexity could be an advantage. Blood samples, genetic sequences, and biological scans filled the research database. Each discovery challenged previous understanding of reproductive biology. The human body was not just a machine. It was a complex adaptive system with multiple fail-safes built into its very genetic code. During one particularly intense research session, Krull asked a question that surprised everyone. "How does this biological redundancy impact your species' survival?" Jay explained how human evolution had been shaped by challenges: harsh environments, diseases, physical injuries. The 2-testicle configuration provided a biological insurance policy. If one was compromised, the other could continue critical reproductive functions. The Zortak research team began to see humans differently. No longer were they a primitive species to be studied clinically. They were a remarkable example of biological adaptation and resilience. Unexpected medical breakthroughs emerged from the research. The human genetic configuration showed potential treatments for reproductive disorders, genetic diseases, and cellular regeneration. What seemed like a simple biological difference was becoming a key to understanding advanced medical technologies. Krull's initial clinical approach transformed into genuine scientific respect. Humans were not just another species to be categorized. They were a complex, adaptive life form with remarkable potential. "Your biology tells a story of survival," Krull said one evening, reviewing the latest research data. The statement carried more emotion than his previous clinical observations. The research station became a melting pot of scientific collaboration. Human and Zortak researchers worked side by side, breaking down barriers of language, culture, and biological understanding. Each discovery was a step toward a broader comprehension of life's incredible diversity. Genetic samples were carefully preserved, each one a potential key to understanding broader evolutionary mechanisms. The 2-testicle configuration, once seen as a simple biological trait, was now recognized as a sophisticated survival strategy. As days turned into weeks, the research expanded. What started as a focused study of reproductive biology was becoming a comprehensive exploration of human biological adaptation. The Zortak were learning that perfection was not about simplicity, but about flexibility and resilience. Jay watched the collaborative research with a sense of pride. Humanity was not just being studied, they were teaching an advanced alien civilization about the beauty of biological complexity. The biological revelation was more than a scientific breakthrough. It was a moment of mutual understanding, a bridge between 2 different species who were learning to see the universe through each other's perspectives. In the vast, cold expanse of space, a small research station had become the center of a profound scientific and cultural exchange. The research facility hummed with an energy that mixed human excitement and alien precision. Jay Park stood before a massive holographic display, watching as genetic sequences danced and transformed in real time. Kral watched silently, his alien eyes tracking every minute change. Breakthrough technologies emerged from their collaborative research. What began as a study of human reproductive biology had transformed into something far more significant. The Zortak medical team discovered that human genetic redundancy could solve complex problems their own technology had struggled with for centuries. Cellular regeneration, Kral explained to the international research team, is no longer a theoretical concept. Your biological configuration provides a practical blueprint.